Brought to you by 1AAuto.com, your source for quality replacement parts and the best service on the internet.
Hi, I'm Mike Green. I'm one of the owners of 1A Auto. I want to help you save time and money repairing and maintaining your vehicle. I'm going to use my 20+ years experience restoring and repairing cars and trucks like this to show you the correct way to install parts from 1AAuto.com. The right parts installed correctly. That's going to save you time and money. Thank you and enjoy the video.
Okay, this is kind of part two. We're going to install the front hub on this four-wheel drive S10, same as Blazer, Jimmy, and Sonoma. Tools you're going to need are metric sockets, 10 to 19 millimeter, plus some metric wrenches, jack and jack stands, a 35 millimeter socket for the hub nut, a large screwdriver or pry bar, penetrating oil, a torque wrench, and you might want to throw in a hammer and a rubber mallet too.
Here's the new 1A Auto hub versus the old one. See, the lead's all the same, has the same bracket, same end. Now it's going to mount the same, and everything's going to be all the same. Next step is to take our O-ring and put it onto the new hub.
Okay, now is as good a time as any to grease the lower ball joint, the tie rod end, and then the upper ball joint.
Backing plate goes on here like that. Feed the harness through. The connector is going to be where that big gap is. Kind of get this up in here, get everything somewhat lined up, grab one of our bolts, make it one of the easy ones down here, put it through, work it in, get it going a little bit.
Okay, now I'm going to speed it up. Now I'm just going to work the other two bolts in, and then I'm going to use a ratchet and socket and tighten them up. Shifting the steering a little bit to get to them. And you do want to try and tighten them up evenly. You don't want to just tighten one all the way up. You want to pull the hub into the steering knuckle pretty much evenly. So I'm just kind of rotating around and tightening. And then after this, I'll set my torque wrench to 65 foot-pounds and torque them up.
Now you tighten these up to about 65 foot-pounds. Okay, so now we're going to put the harness back in.
Okay, so remember here you got a little 10 millimeter bolt there on that first clip, and then you got a 13 millimeter bolt and nut on that second clip, and you have to clip it in together with the brake line. The hub harness goes in behind the brake line, so the bolt goes through the hub harness first, then the brake line harness. And then it's opposite on the frame connector. The brake line goes onto the frame, and then the hub harness goes on top of it. Okay, so tighten up that bolt, tighten up the frame, and then tighten up the frame, and then you can take the clip, put it onto the frame, connect them together, and then once they're connected, pull your flap back down, and you're all set. Okay, here I'm putting the rotor back on, and I apologize for the poor camera work here. I didn't realize I wasn't shooting it very well. I'm putting a lug nut, just one on, just to kind of keep the rotor in place. Makes it easier to get the caliper on. Okay, now I'm grabbing the caliper. I'm also not touching the disc or the brake pad surfaces. You want to try and keep them clean, keeps your brakes working better. If you do hit them, just use a little linseed oil or brake parts cleaner. Then I used a rubber mallet to kind of persuade the caliper on there. Put the bolts in for the caliper. They should be torqued to 50 to 60 foot-pounds. The top I didn't get a torque wrench on, so I used my well-calibrated arm and hand, as you'll see. And then after that, torque up the bottom one correctly.
Okay, so I'm going to tighten the hub nut up with an impact wrench, and I'm going to watch in back here. As you can see, there's a little gap right here, this shiny ring, and that'll close up as I tighten, and I'll just stop before that closes all the way, because I want to tighten that with a torque wrench when the car is on the ground. Okay, I replaced my hub, and those 3 bolts have been torqued. Okay, I put my brake back on, those bolts have been torqued. I've reinstalled my line here. Okay, that's all tight. So now I can put my wheel back on. And I'm going to torque the hub nut to 90 foot-pounds. Okay, and now I'm going to torque the wheel lug nuts to 75 foot-pounds. Put my cap back on, the lug nut covers.
We hope this helps you out. Brought to you by www.oneauto.com, your source for quality replacement parts and the best service on the internet. Please feel free to call us toll-free 888-844-3393. We're the company that's here for you on the internet and in person.